Hey everyone. Hey everyone. Good morning. Hope you're doing well today. Just waking up with a nice cup of coffee. And today I wanted to address a question that comes up often regarding clients of mine who have purchased property in the past on some sort of financing deal. So they're either paying a developer a monthly payment or paying a private seller a monthly payment on their property. Most of the time for me, this applies to vacant land, but it also can apply if you're using financing on a condo or a home or private island, whatever you're buying in Belize on seller financing. This video might be helpful to you because some of you want to go ahead and sell the property. Maybe the property has increased in value, so you want to cash out on some of your profits there. Or maybe your life is just taking a different direction and you want to cash out to go on to other ventures. It could be to take advantage of other opportunities in Belize, or it just can be to move on and kind of your life's taking another direction in your home country, or you just want to do something else. So I'm going to put together some numbers. These are just sample numbers. So kind of plug and play regarding your own situation. But let me just kind of run through it. And if you have any questions, I'll put my email address in the video description below, and you can email me for more specifics on your particular situation. All right, so in this scenario, let's say that you purchased some land, can be anywhere in Belize, for around $50,000. And you took advantage of some developer or seller financing at the time, and you put 15% down, and you've been making payments on this property for a few years. Right. So let's just say that you have a current balance with the seller or developer in the amount of around 35,000 US. Now, if you bought in an up and coming area, maybe somewhere in the path of progress, or maybe just overall some appreciation has taken place, let's say that your property is now worth 75,000. Not a big stretch between 50 and 75. In fact, we're seeing that, that spread quite a bit in Belize. So let's say you want to cash out and you want to, get your profits back, and you're wondering how you can do this. Well, let's say that the current value is 75,000. So you go to your real estate broker, your agent. It could be me or anyone else you want to use, and you tell them, "Look, my property is worth. I bought my property for 50. I owe 35 on it. I think the real value now is 75,000. So I'd like to put it on the market." All right. So they agree. They look at the property and agree with you that it is probably worth around 75,000. The listing agreement will probably be for around 10% of the purchase price as far as agent commissions goes. So if you just do the simple math, 75,000 minus 10% is 7,500. You're left with a balance of 67,500. So if you're looking for a cash buyer to come along and buy your property at 75, it's very simple. The cash buyer comes to the table, you bring $75,000 cash. So you have 75 minus your 10% to the agent, minus your 35,000 that you originally owed the original seller, and you're left with a balance of 32.5. So you take your 32.5 at closing and you walk away, happy man, happy woman, and you go on and invest in something else or do something else. Now, the question comes up, how can you become the mortgage holder of this property? You still owe 35, so what are your options there? Well, you got a couple options when you go to market with the property. Let me just go to the next slide here. So if you want to list the property offering seller financing, which I highly recommend you do because it makes your property a lot easier for someone to buy if they can take advantage of some sort of seller financing. Cash buyers are more rare in Belize. We do have a lot of buyers that need financing either for at least 2 to 3 years, sometimes up to 10 years or more. But here are the two options that you can go with. Number one is you can go back to the original seller, mortgage holder, or developer and ask them if they would agree to continue to hold the mortgage for the new buyer on the balance that they are owed. So for example, in this scenario, the original seller is still owed 35,000 US. So you could go to them and say, look, I still owe you 35,000 US, but I want to sell this property. Would there be a scenario in which you would continue to hold the mortgage on that 35,000 US to a new buyer? If they agree, then all well and good. So when you market the property, your agent has to market it asking for a minimum of $40,000 down payment. Now, why 40? Well, because you remember you're selling it for 75, you still owe the original seller 35. So the 40,000 is what the new buyer needs to put down in order to cover agent commissions and put that 32.5 back in your pocket. All right, so that's one scenario, and that sometimes works. The original seller might not want to do that. They might want to cash out. They might not want to extend the financing, but they very well could. And I've seen a lot of cases where they would. The second scenario is if you now want to become the mortgage holder. And I think this is a very good way to invest in Belize. So this is option number two. So you have 35,000 that you owe the original seller or developer. I would suggest you pay that off in full and then take title to the property. So you're going to pay your stamp duty on the original purchase. You're going to pay off the original seller. And then once you have title in hand, then you can offer financing to anyone else, any other potential new buyers. This could look something like the 10-10-10 program. So at a selling price of 75,000, the buyers would put 10% down, or 7,500. That takes care of the agent fees right there. They're left with a balance of 67,500. The standard interest rate in Belize on land is 10%. So any new buyers will be making monthly payments to you in the amount of $892.02 for 120 months. Now, there are no prepayment penalties, so the new buyer could pay you off in 1 year, 5 years, all the way up to 10 years if you want. You could also extend the length of the mortgage, but ask for a balloon payment. So, for example, you could say, you know what, I'll give you a 10-10-20 program, which means 10% down, 10% interest for 20 years, but I like a 10-year balloon. So at the end of 10 years, I want the note paid for in full. These payments are made directly to you, and the title is often held in escrow until the property is paid off. All right, so those are the two scenarios. All right, so there are other things that can come into play depending on your unique situation, but I find that these two scenarios are the most common. So you're either looking for a cash buyer, just to come in with a box of cash, a wire transfer actually, but come in with cash, buy your property outright, you pay off the original sellers, you get your money, go your happy way. Everyone's wins. The other scenario is you offer financing either by number one, getting the original seller or developer to agree to hold a mortgage, whatever they're owed, or number two, paying off the property in full, which I highly recommend you do, and then go ahead and being able to extend financing to any potential new buyer. So those would be my recommendations on that. All right, if you have any questions at all, if something didn't make sense, let me know. Again, I'll put my email address in the video description below. And thanks a lot for watching. Please share this with somebody who you think it might be helpful to, and hope to see you real soon in Belize and beyond. Have a great day.